All right guys, a little different video today. How to buy a Squarebody. Things to look for. Christian's like, what are we doing? I didn't want him to see this yet because I wanted this to be a raw video and I want to do a walk around of this truck like I'm seeing it for the first time. Now I did just go out and unload it off the trailer and put it in here before anybody saw it. But a lot of people ask about how do you buy? A lot of people also, just to clarify one thing, when we walk around this truck, you will see a lot of pointers of things that we do as a pet peeve. And people will be like, oh my gosh, you know, we'll post a truck and they'll be like, I saw that on Facebook for 20 grand a month ago, and now I'm asking 30. Well, we took the time to go look at it. We took the time to haul it. We took time to bring it here, service it, inspect it. Now, we don't go over all of them to a $100,000 completion level, but we spend money on it. You know, we fix things, which you're going to see on this one, because I got things I got to fix before I can even move the truck. And this actually came from a dealer, and I'm not knocking that dealer. He was very straight with me, but his pictures were very less forgiving of the problems that it has, I should say. But I've done a lot of business with them, and the part I was looking for was rust-free, and it is rust-free. So it's going to be a good example. It's going to be a good donor. At the end of the day, it's going to be a truck that's for sale. But I want to show you guys what we see on a truck that has just arrived, raw, in there. So pause it 1 second, Christian. We'll be right back. All right, so in walking around this one and talking with Christian, he understands because he sees it firsthand. But we have guys out every day. When I say guys, multiple different buyers every day traveling around and looking at trucks. You guys do not know how many trucks we do look at that even look better than this in pictures, and we show up and we don't come home with it. So, you know, if you got to take off work and you got to travel and you got to go look at this stuff, you're going to get a very big disappointment, you know, because 90% of the stuff is plagued with issues and problems, all that can be corrected. But even if you go to a high-end auction like the truck behind us, you still can end up with some crap. So again, this truck, the main thing was the undercarriage. I'm going to show you guys that in a minute. That's what I really wanted to buy with this truck. I also was hoping the paint would come out because it's very faded and very chalky and very original. It will come out, but it's also going to have lots of little imperfections. So do we paint it? Do we buff it? Where do we go? I don't know. That needs to be fixed. And the reason I know that is when I finally got it to start, this stem here is shorted or there's a broken wire inside. So every now and then the wipers sweep. It happens. This is replaceable. It wears out. It's probably original. Sometimes it won't do it. Sometimes you start the truck, the wipers go everywhere. That was after I started the truck. So let's go under the hood. I jump in it. It's up on our trailer. My transport guy had a long day yesterday bringing it home. So I unloaded it, went to start it, and lo and behold, it wouldn't start. Sounded like somebody was cranking a kid's toy. I could have got out and spun it by hand faster. But the ground wires, the wiring itself is a disaster. It's not hard to put a battery in it because there's the battery hold down. And again, I'm not so much making fun of this truck because it is a really solid truck. Somebody's going to buy it, somebody's going to enjoy it. But this is what you see when you go on Craigslist or Facebook and go look at a truck that the guy says is, man, it's a great truck. I drive it every day. No, you don't. So you can't even get it started. So even with a jump box, this wouldn't start. One of these wire ends has slid out. And I don't remember if it was on the ground or the positive side. But I got it back up in there. I got it tightened up. We're going to put a fresh battery. We're going to clean up these connections. We're going to clean up all this excessive extra wiring that some of it probably doesn't go to anything. We're also going to get under the hood here. We're going to service it. We're going to change the oil. We're not going to run a compression check unless we feel like we got a problem. It doesn't smoke. It doesn't spit. It doesn't act funny. So people are like, did you do a compression check? No, we did not. Can we do a compression check? Absolutely. But you know, this wire here that looks like it could reach to California and back, you know, we're going to route that a little differently. Clean up some stuff here. This is an air-conditioned cab truck. It's an 84 model. It's a short bed. It's a very solid. You don't see us bring you a lot of two-wheel drives. Two-wheel drives are just as popular as a four-wheel drive, but hard to find because they are better survivors. So this truck could be a four-wheel drive conversion. It could be a lowrider. It could be a pro street truck. It could go a lot of different directions. The beauty is it's very solid. It's a power steering. power brake truck. Now, somebody has removed the compressor. So even though it's an AC truck, the compressor is gone. So it can be put back. You're not reinventing the wheel. It can be done. And as you can see, lots of other wires and other things. Original fender wells, the rag to check the oil, tucked away, the jack, everything in place, the emissions components, which a lot of those have been modified. You can see that because maybe the man was a carpenter and this is where he was storing his extra screw, but a lot of this stuff's been taken loose. Now come around to this side. We've still got all our trim. We got a little whiskey dent right here, which majority of this can come out with not even body work. And I want to do this video too because when my dent guy John comes, he's not going to like it because these trucks actually had some real metal in them versus the newer trucks that he's used to fixing. But he can get this crease back in here. He can get this to where if there's any body work required, it's going to be very minimum. So while we're on this side, rocker panel, cab corner, bottom of fenders, got the factory little stainless doodad that they always added. Got the little key protector around the key that was so popular. This is a rear trim truck, so it's a high level trim truck, you know, Silverado. It appears the rear's been lowered slightly. When I kneel down, I'll look, it's either spring or shackle, but it is definitely more level than most. Christian commented, as it was sitting here camming, he loves those even though he's a Ford guy. Unfortunately, Ford guys can't have a cool tip like that. Oh, it'd just be an oval. Yeah. Chevrolet symbol tips. Step rear bumper, rear hitch. The bed has been used, but not really abused because these are not smashed in. It doesn't look like they've been hauling junk to the scrap yard. It's just wore all the paint off. So a spray and bed liner inside of here with a nice scuff and protection. The ribs are crisp. It's not really wavy other than a couple little dented spots right there where they drop something. This bed's in great shape, believe it or not. That would be considered a really nice inside of a bed. Not as nice as our Survivor and our Grandpa and all the other trucks, but a very, very nice underneath. Let's go to the inside. Power window, power door lock truck. This one works, that one doesn't. No big surprise. Trim panel's gone, the pulls are gone on both sides. This window works, that one does not. Somebody has put a nice leather cover because I'm sure the dash was busted all to pieces, but they didn't do the greatest job on fitting the trim back in. They tried. Yeah, Christian's a upholstery guy by trade prior to us, and he could see some appreciation in that. Inside here, the window felts are gone. They're not even there. Now, we have those in stock, no big deal. Matter of fact, Daniel just brought me a set of those yesterday for a different project truck. Those just over time get dry and brittle and fall out. This here does not have the lip anymore like it should. Again, some of this stuff, you guys are like, okay, so be it. That's how my truck looks. It's fine. This truck, somebody was driving it until they stopped. But if you want to carry it to the next level or you want to go to the level of, well, most all the more high-end trucks are not even sitting in the building right now. But this truck can be carried to a higher level, but there's so many little points. The trim, got to be replaced. It's all factory, it's all original, but the first time a buffer hits it or the brush from washing it hits it, it's off, it's falling off, and it's all miscolored. The seat, not a big deal, but a nice factory. You can get a really nice factory fitted seat for that. My man was a boomer on the stereo. That's some brand spanking new stuff right there. That is the newest technology there is in stereo equipment. That's what the secret was. I didn't want you guys to see that. We'll edit that out of the video, Christian. We don't want to get too excited there. But again, an air-conditioned truck, aftermarket steering wheel, tilt steering wheel. The steering column is actually not as bad as some. It's got some play, but it's not as bad as most. It does work and adjust. It's got a little bit of up and down play. Not terrible. Four-wheel drives are worse because they grab them getting into them. Inside the doors, cab corners, bottoms of the doors are very, very solid. Original paint truck, one, because we can see that it's chalky enough that it is, but two, none of this has been taped around or painted around. There's no back tape edge here, so everything there is very much original. Doors actually close pretty good. The striker is missing its bushing right there, so that's one of the first things my uncle will be attending to, but doors actually close pretty good. When he gets in it, he'll do the strikers. His immediate thing on checking one of these trucks is when I drop it off and say, hey, go over it, just like the military truck in there, is lube, grease, and adjust everything. Lube the tailgate, lube the doors, lube the hood hinges, lube inside the doors if we take them apart, grease inside the doors with grease on the tracks, striker covers. He's got a box full of them in there. Another trivial thing, the pedal cover. Nice fresh pedal cover, just again a little pet peeve of ours. The pieces of trim, if we have them, the pulls, the little clips that always break off. The clips break off. He's got window locks, door locks, all the different switches in stock over there. So going over the interior is kind of where he starts and works his way out. Again, the door's not bad. It closes pretty good. It's got all its emblems. The hood's not bent. These style don't bend as much as the 70s models do. But still, you got to keep these lubricated, because if not and you're forcing on it, you can buckle it. You can cause yourself some problems. This is not a fuel injected truck because it's not an 87. It's a carbureted. Once we got it started, it actually warmed up and idled pretty good, sounded pretty good. Again, let me see if we can even emulate that cool sound. There you go. So that's what we're talking about. Simple things, guys, but they all add up. If you're doing them at home, a lot of that stuff you can just do on a Saturday and a Sunday. That's no problem. When we do it, it's a paid employee, it's a paid facility, it's tools, it's equipment, it's parts that we have to go buy. There's a lot that goes into these trucks. So when guys look at stuff that we've bought and the truck might look exactly the same, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes. And Christian even commented that, you know, when he talks to people, you know, they like just don't understand how much time goes behind the scenes on every truck, no matter expensive or not. This truck's gonna be able to be started, hit the key, it's gonna start crisp, it's gonna run good, it's gonna have a fresh oil change. A lot of little pet peeve items are gonna be fixed. If somebody wants to go paint it, great. If we buff it, great. If we four-wheel drive conversion, awesome. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into these, the people behind the scenes. Our time's not free. We probably honestly look at, I'd say it's 10 to 1. I bet it's 10 trucks we look at to every one that we end up purchasing. And then, even then, the 1/10 that we do purchase, a lot of them end up back there or in the corner because they're just, once we get looking at them closer, they're not worth the effort. Yes, we'll sell them one day. That's why we're developing our project section. But we get frustrated. We shove them off to the side. We get to it later kind of thing. But that's a cool truck. That's a truck that will be for sale. It will be in the project section. We're going to, like I said, do a little bit more due diligence. Let me get up under it real quick just to show them the underside. And along the way, some of the things on this truck that are good, I want you guys to realize that's what you need to be looking at for the bad in a lot of places. Get under the truck, take a knee, two-wheel drive or four-wheel drive. Get your, get a little dirt on your shirt. You got to look at the underside because that's where stuff can be hidden. A shiny paint job can hide a lot, just like any of these trucks. We harp on these like the Fall Guy truck. When they are original paint, they're not hiding anything. They're not hiding rust. They're not hiding imperfections. They're not hiding they're just not hiding anything. When a truck has a shiny paint job, sometimes it's a call for a question. We love a Survivor truck the most because of the fact there's nothing covered up. Again, people are like, why are you lowering the Fall Guy truck? Well, one, because it is a Survivor. It is a Grandpa Edition. It is cold AC. It has no wind noise. It has 60,000 original miles. It has original paint, original trim, original pinstripes. There's nothing hidden on that truck, and it's a rust-free truck. It's more desirable to somebody's stock. We love it. It looks cool. We'll put that stuff on another truck. We'll do another project. But somebody's will come along as soon as that truck's done, and we already have multiple people that want it when it's back stock. Send a couple pictures, dog dish hubcaps, back to original. That truck's going to make somebody an awesome driver. All right. Let's slip under here real quick. So when you get underneath the truck, these areas are what you want to look for. Of course, the fender wells always have problems right here. We call it the triangle. they're always rotten and rusted. This is original fender well and not rusty. And when you get under it, you want to look for original floor pans. Can somebody put floor pans on a truck and do a good job? Absolutely. It just means they needed them and they were rusty. Floor pans are great. Floor pans are great. Frame is in good shape. Frame's not twisted, not bent, not welded. The bottom of the bed, another incredibly important area. What we call the bed supports, cross beams. Everybody calls them something different. You want to make sure they're in good shape. A lot of times they're rusted and crumbling or bent where people have loaded the bed down. The fender wells on the inner side of the bed are in great shape. And again, seeing paint and undercoat is not always a good thing. Sometimes it's there for protection and other things, but sometimes it's there just because of the fact they're hiding something. The bumper on this truck is welded on, not bolted. Should really have a bolt in it because that is part of the hitch also. So not safe, but better than having one bolt. You can see a bunch of spots where people have done stuff with the exhaust with some chicken wire over time. But the underneath of the bed itself is very solid. The inside of the frame, a little hard under a two-wheel drive, Christian, is good. And again, getting under here and getting some of what we call chicken wire removed. It's basically where they had tied the exhaust up at one time or something. Got some new brake lines on the rear axle, both sides, and a wheel cylinder on both sides. Pretty solid truck. And if somebody was going to take this truck to the level of a full-blown restoration, you would basically just pull everything off, sandblast, soda blast, or whatever you wanted to do, and start to paint, powder coat, refinish the truck to your fashion. So still has a sticker under the hood. I can't believe I didn't mention that. And you can also see that this has not been painted or touched up or done anything. You can cover that up, you can replace that, but that is still original. So overall, guys, though it doesn't look the craziest like you're used to seeing with us, this is a great specimen of a truck. It is a good find. It will make somebody a wonderful two-wheel drive, short bed Silverado truck. It will be under the project section. Probably not today. Probably tomorrow or the next day. So if you are interested, you guys know the phone number, 804-271-0030. You're welcome to call. It's going to slip over into that shop. Then it's going to slip up to the service shop. And this one will probably not make its way to the off-road shop because there's really no need unless we decide to change it up, lower it differently, do something else. No, that's pretty much it on that one. How to buy a Squarebody, things to look for, and to us, that's a great truck. I got a bunch more back there that look way shinier and way better that I could give two craps about compared to this one. It's actually a really cool truck. So going to turn into a nice ride, a few things to do, some money to spend, some things to perfect. But at the end of the day, that's a little buyer's guide on things to look for, our little 2 cents about it. And hey, if there's something you're interested in, great. If you see something else you're interested in, let us know. I'll be happy to help you guys out. 804-271-0030. Thanks.